I remember exactly where I was standing the moment that I was going to get the news. I was in a department store. It was the Monday after Thanksgiving, and an announcement came over the loudspeaker that I had a phone call. So I rushed upstairs to take the call, and the lady on the other end of the line told me that I needed to get to the hospital right away because she had my son. And I just had a pit in the bottom of my stomach, but still I didn't have any clue that I was about to get the news that I got when I arrived. Tyler was 8 months old, and he had died of SIDS that morning. I was heartbroken. In a single moment, everything that I knew about my life, about the world, just turned upside down. And I didn't know what to do, or what to feel, or what to think, or even who I was. I found myself in a moment having no idea what to think or feel. I couldn't believe that this was my life. I was devastated. I was stuck. I was without hope, and I really didn't even want to try to figure out what to do next.
I know in my circumstance, my purpose, my focus, the future I thought I was going to have was no longer, and I was completely changed after my daughter died. And I think that's startling and shocking and terrifying in the early days and months after the loss. You find yourself standing in a world that you don't recognize. It's broken, and you're broken, and the purpose and the future and the goals you had are gone. And so one of my hopes for Camberwell is that we can walk alongside those who are grieving, who have no idea now what life's going to look like carrying this grief forward. Maybe we can show them that there's still hope, that they are a different person now in the aftermath, but that doesn't mean that it has to be for the worse, that they can take the love that they had for the one that they lost and learn and cling to the good stuff as it inspires them to figure out who they are now.
Kelly shared her vision with me one night over dinner that it had been laid on her heart that she would like to find a place, create a place for grievers to be able to come together in a community and get different therapies and be out in nature, a sanctuary. One of the things that makes Camberwell Grief Sanctuary unique and different from many of the other grief programs is that we have a beautiful sanctuary where you can get out in nature, you can hike, you can garden, you can walk along the waters, you can just pray, you can have quiet time. No matter how you feel, you can come out to our sanctuary and there's something for you.
I met Kelly several years ago when she lost Katrin, and we formed an instant bond, as many of us do who are in this club who lose children. And I'm just so proud of Kelly for taking the next step in her healing journey to create a grief sanctuary for people. This is so needed in our community. There's just not a safe place for people to go to when they are feeling so horrible, alone and sad. You know, nobody wants to be taken out to lunch, and they certainly don't want to go to a coffee shop where it's noisy, because most of us never know when we're going to break down or be triggered by something. And so to have a place where you're just surrounded by nature and God's beauty everywhere just can really be good for somebody's soul, to be able to sit and think quietly and listen to the sounds of nature, look at the butterflies, you know, the flowers, observe the bees, just listening to the birds even. It's just an amazing concept, and I really hope that you'll consider supporting Camberwell Grief Sanctuary. It's so needed in our community.
I got a call about 1.5 years ago from Kelly about this vision that she had, that she wanted to help grievers to go through her journey that basically she did, and to honor her daughter. Knowing the impact of what grief has on others is why I think a place like this is needed. I feel that we need to give a place of hope, a place of community, and we know that we don't necessarily get past grief because we'll always have grief.
Having a place like Camberwell is a place where you can go and people understand. You're not being judged, and you can feel free to let your emotions go, and no one's judging you, feeling like you're burdening someone else with your grief. Everyone at Camberwell would get it. And so I feel strongly that this is something that needs to be supported by the community.
The other approach that Camberwell has is that we offer multiple therapies through our sanctuary. So you can take yoga therapy, you can have massage therapy for grief, art workshops, grief mentoring, and grief counseling. So what you get with Camberwell is not only a chance to get out in a beautiful setting, but you also get the opportunity to be a part of a community. And that is the real difference, because so many people that are grieving feel so alone. They feel brokenhearted and isolated. And I know our founders, Kelly and Mark Parrish, that is really what is on their hearts.
And I think about the vision that it takes to have that in your heart and mind, and then to see that come true. And then I think about all of the people who are in on that vision early on. People like board members, people like friends, people like donors, people like supporters, people like volunteers, people who see in their minds what this one day will be. And there will be a day when Camberwell will have such great regional, maybe even national impact on the world. We're going to build a rustic chapel. We're going to build a counseling center. We're going to build memorial gardens. We're going to plant trees. We're going to have bridges and a wishing well. And there's going to be all sorts of things. None of those things happen without money. That's why we need people who volunteer. That's why we need people who donate. That's why we need people who see the vision of what Camberwell can be and will be. And that's why we say, come and join us. Come and be part of Camberwell. Be part of the vision. Come and help.
Knowing what I know about Camberwell and its mission, my hope is that it will continue to grow and continue to be a support in our community and to be a staple for those in need and who are brokenhearted.